A packed restaurant with a line out the door can still be quietly going broke. On a $100 dinner bill, the owner often keeps between $3 and $5. That is the reality of restaurant economics. The average full-service restaurant runs a net profit margin of just 3 to 5%. Fast food does a little better, around 6 to 9%, because it uses less labor and cheaper space. To put that in perspective, a margin above 6% is considered strong in this business, and anything above 10% is exceptional. Most other industries would consider those numbers a crisis. A software company might keep 30 cents of every dollar, a bank even more. For restaurants, 3 to 5 cents is a normal, even a good year. It means a restaurant doing $1 million in sales, which sounds like a lot, might clear $30,000 or $40,000 in actual profit, less than the salary of one of its own managers. To understand how a business can take in so much and keep so little, you have to follow where every single dollar of that bill actually goes. Restaurant costs are dominated by what the industry calls the big three: food, labor, and overhead. Together, they eat more than 90% of revenue before the owner sees a cent of profit. Start with food. The ingredients on your plate typically cost the restaurant between 28 and 35% of the menu price. So on that $100 bill, roughly $30 is gone just buying what you ate. And unlike most products, that inventory is perishable. Food that does not sell in a few days is not discounted, it is thrown away. Spoilage is a cost that most industries simply do not carry. Then there is labor, and this is the big one. Cooks, servers, dishwashers, hosts, and managers typically consume another 25 to 35% of revenue. Food and labor combined are known as prime cost, and a healthy restaurant tries to keep that under about 65%. Think about what that means. Before rent, before electricity, before insurance, before a single repair, well over half the money is already committed. And these are not costs you can easily pause. A restaurant has to be fully staffed for a busy Friday even if Tuesday turns out dead, because you cannot run a dinner service with half a kitchen, and you cannot send the cooks home the moment it gets quiet without losing them to the restaurant down the street. Labor is also relentlessly upward. Minimum wages rise, good cooks are hard to find and harder to keep, and every raise comes straight out of that thin margin. Unlike a factory, a restaurant cannot automate most of its work away. The whole product is people cooking and serving for other people in real time, and that is expensive by its very nature. Now stack on the rest. Rent in a good location is brutal, and restaurants often need visible, high-traffic spots that landlords charge a premium for. Add utilities to run ovens, fridges, and dining room climate all day, plus insurance, licenses, cleaning, repairs, and equipment that fails at the worst possible time. By the time you total food, labor, and overhead, you are past 90% of revenue. The $3 to $5 left over from that $100 bill is what is supposed to survive a slow month, a broken walk-in freezer, or a sudden jump in the price of beef. And in recent years, a new cost has crept in and quietly reshaped the math: delivery apps. When an order comes through a third-party platform, that platform can take a commission of anywhere from 15 to 30% of the order value, a share often larger than the restaurant's entire profit margin. For a business already running on a 3 to 5% margin, handing away a quarter of the ticket on a delivery order can turn that sale into a loss. Restaurants use delivery anyway, because turning it down means losing the customer entirely to a competitor who says yes. But every app order chips away at the thin sliver of profit that was already barely there. It is a devil's bargain, more sales, but each one worth less and sometimes worth nothing at all. So if the margins are this brutal, why does anyone open a restaurant at all? Partly passion, the dream of your own place, and partly the math of volume. 3 or 4% of a business doing $3 million a year is still a real income. And a great restaurant can build something far more valuable than 1 year's profit. A brand, a loyal following, and eventually multiple locations, where the profit finally multiplies. A single successful restaurant can become 5, and 5 can become a chain. But the thin margin also explains the industry's famous churn, the way beloved places seem to vanish overnight. When your entire cushion is a few cents on the dollar, it does not take much to erase it. One bad quarter, one rent increase when the lease renews, one equipment failure, one slow winter, one health scare, and the profit is simply gone. There is no buffer to absorb the shock. That is why a restaurant can look busy, full, and successful right up until the week it closes, because busy was never the same thing as profitable. So the next time a favorite restaurant closes despite always seeming full, remember what full actually buys. A packed dining room is not the same as a profitable one. In a business where 90 cents of every dollar is spoken for before you have even paid the rent, being busy is the entry fee, not the reward. A restaurant is one of the hardest ways to earn a small, fragile profit from a lot of very hard work. The next time your meal arrives, you are looking at an industry that survives on the thinnest of margins and does it on purpose.